Hi, everybody. I'm Kat Day with SPM Billiards Media, and I have Michael Harrison here with me today. And we are going to talk about game points. And first of all, tell me how you got started with points, Michael.
Well, Al and we're good friends. We go back a few years, and he was experimenting with the game, and we play from time to time. And it it was just as easy as him saying, "Hey, I've got this game I've been working on. You want to give it a try?" And I did, and we've played it off and on for I guess the last 6 months or so.
Uh-huh. What do you think of it compared to nine ball or 10 ball or eight
Well, it's
ball?
purely offensive. It's purely offensive. You have to be able to look at the table and identify shots that you can use to really affect your scorecard. If you were to pocket a simple shot, whether it's difficult or not, if it's just a ball in a pocket, you're only going to get 1 point for that. So you have to be able to identify a kick or a carom or a combination, or maybe even involving all those aspects. A kick carom combo. That's when you really get the score to jump and really make an impact.
Right. So explain the game a little bit to me, because I'm a nine ball fan, so
Right, right. Well, nine ball is purely rotation, but at the same time, I feel like luck has a great deal to do with nine ball because you can pocket the nine at any point, unless you're playing APA style, where they give you. I don't know if you're familiar with the APA. I'm a 7-7 in the APA, so I'm not a world class player by any means, but in nine ball, when you play in the APA, it's a points race. Like generally, I would go to a 55, and then I would play against somebody else, and they would have a required amount of points that they would have to score. So it is APA style nine ball is similar to points, but only in the aspect that you're playing. You can't make the nine ball to win in APA style. But in points, you rack all 15 balls, at least I guess in the because Al has introduced these different weight classes, and I
Mhm.
guess like if I'm considered a heavyweight, then I'm going to rack 15 balls. I'm going to break them. If you make a ball on the break, you get a point for that. In my opinion, you're better off not making balls on the break because that leaves more balls on the table that you can attack and score using those balls. And
So if you make balls on the break, you don't get points for that.
you do, but you only get a single point unless it um, points is played in the perspective of whether you're using the full table or you're using half the table. So if you make a ball in the break and it goes in one of the pockets near the rack down at the end of the table, then you
Uh-huh.
only get 1 point. But if the ball travels down to your end of the table, then you get 2 points. Now, at the same time, if the ball was to go all the way around the table 5 or 6 rails, it just depends on which pocket it goes in, because, if you go around 5 rails and only go in the corner down at the end near the rack, you still only get a point.
Right.
Um, but the game is young. Al could definitely sharpen, some of the rules. He could work on, that type of thing. But it's purely offensive, and versus nine ball, where if you're playing classic nine ball rules, if
Right.
you were to make the nine ball at any point, you would win the game, right?
Right.
But in points, you have to build up a collective of shots that you've performed and actually made the shot. You can call a shot, but if you don't make it, you don't get anything. And the highest score that I've made with a single shot is 40 points. I don't think I've ever seen anybody make a shot, and achieve a higher score than that. But it is possible. You could go 5 rails and make a combo. I think that would be like 60 points. My high run is 179, but really, I'm just a big fish in a little pond. People need to play the game, and once they play the game and they develop a sense for how to achieve a high score, I think that I'm not saying the sky's the limit, but I'm sure 300 and 400 points is possible. Al was telling me about a trick shot artist who's been playing with the game, and supposedly he has scored much higher than I have. But I think Al's looking for some proof. But you just have to develop a sense for the game. I think that at first points might not be for everybody. You might need to practice it a little bit and get a sense for the game. Um, to be honest with you, one of the rules that I like about it is if you scratch on the break, you get ball in hand and there's no penalty. So if I scratch on the break, I can set up a full table 2 or 3 ball combination, and I can achieve a high score right off the bat, 20 or 30 points to
Right.
start the to start the rack off. And it's not, it's similar but different when it comes to other games, because there's other, like I know like Rodney Morris has an offensive game that he's been putting out in the past few months. These games, they're all similar but they're different, and Owls has its own quirks, and I think the enjoyability of the game is high once you develop a sense for what you're trying to accomplish. It's not merely potting balls. You have to look at the table and figure out a way to achieve a high score, rather than just making a shot, a simple shot. You have to involve different aspects, a rail, a carom, a combo, that.
Right. Like hitting a bank shot or.
Yeah, bank shots, a half table, everything is based on half and full table. So if you were to, let's say there's a ball sitting in the side pocket and you're on the same side of the table, and so you bank a ball and it knocks the ball into the side pocket. So that's a bank combo. So on a half table shot, you would get 10 points for that.
Right.
But if you were to do the same thing corner to corner, then the score would double. You would get 20 points. And you can incorporate a rail into any shot and add 5 or 10 points, which is, to be honest with you, one of the ways that I scored really high.
Right.
But if you add a rail, you add a rail into the shot, and it turns into whatever like let's say it's a simple combination, okay, but it's full table. So if you were to hit the rail first with either the cue ball or the first object ball, you would add either 5 or 10 points to the shot, just based on how you decided to play the shot versus just a simple combo. And that's how, that's why there's a lot of creativity that goes into the game.
Right.
You have to look at, your different options. I see a lot of players that'll just jump on a shot without actually looking at it. You look at it and you say, well, it'd be super easy for me to go rail first here, and then I can double my score on this one shot. And you've got 16 shots. So
Right.
it's all about creativity. Like to give you an example, I've maxed out the 7-ball rankings in the APA, but in 9-ball, I'm still a 7.
Right.
So maybe from at least my own perspective, I appreciate and enjoy strategizing, because on a 7-foot table, which is pretty much what we play on here in North or South Carolina, you have to strategize a lot in 8-ball. 9-ball might be a little easier than on a big table. I don't know what size tables y'all play on.
Right.
But I've still got 2 rankings left in 9-ball that I could go up. But for whatever reason, I've maxed out 7-ball. Like to give you an example, there are players that I couldn't really touch in 9-ball, but at the same time, I'm ranked the same as them in 8-ball. I don't know if that's a disadvantage or not, but if you really want to learn the game, really all you want to do is just rack 9 or 10 or 15 balls or whatever you're comfortable with, and then just start looking at shots that are outside of the normal realm. Not just potting a ball, like, can I hit the cue ball off this rail and this rail, and pocket the ball. And the diamond system is going to play a big part in, your understanding and your development in the game of points, because you have to know where the cue ball is going to go and what it's going to do, and so forth. So.
Right. What, tell me about your, how long have you been playing billiards? Tell me a little bit about your prior.
Well, I came up playing pool. It was just something to do while when I started college, and this was in Greenville, North Carolina, and pool was pretty big then. I'm 38. We had I think 3 pool rooms in Greenville that had just 15 plus 9-foot either diamond or Brunswick tables. My older brother also, he was playing, it was mainly 9-ball. That was the big game that we all played then.
Right.
And I played for probably about 1.5 years, 2 years maybe. My game progressed a lot though, within 6 months. And I played at a local, my family's from Wilson, North Carolina, and there's I think it's still there. It's called Carolina Billiards. And I used to go there, and they have a ranking system much like the APA. I think it goes from like 1 or 2 up to 9. And, so I became a 7 pretty quickly. within 6 months actually of even starting pool. So, maybe I'm a natural at billiards. I don't know, but I quit pool for a long time, almost 15 years. And then, when my daughter got to be, I think she was 6 or 7, but she was in school. She was doing gymnastics. I didn't like sitting there every day watching her. So it was just something to do. The only reason I started playing pool again was because we were working during the summer. I'm a painter,
Right.
and super hot here. And
Yeah.
one of the guys I was working with, he had the idea to go play pool. He knew I'd played pool back in the day, and he kind of dabbled with pool, and consequently I got back into pool and I actually met Al, the inventor of points, at Two
Uh-huh.
Keys, because he and I were there frequently in the afternoon when everybody else was working. But
Right.
I would start the day at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would get off at like 1.
Right.
Al has heart conditions and so forth. He's on disability,
Yeah.
so he would spend his afternoons at Two Keys Billiards in Ladson shooting pool. And so in reality, I don't have a great deal of experience playing pool. I progressed really fast, and I played for about a year and a half in North Carolina in my early 20s, and then I quit for about 15 years, and I started playing again about a year and a half ago.
Uh-huh.
And points has certainly, like 8 ball, for instance. I never played 8 ball coming up, so
Right.
learning 8 ball was really interesting. But I have to admit that I didn't become a 7 in 8 ball until I had started playing points. So, like I can be biased and I can say
So
that.
would you say that playing 8 ball or playing points helped your 8 ball game?
Well, yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I could be biased and say that points has helped my 8 ball ranking progress, and I'm sure it has. I'm sure it has. One of my most recent matches, I was put up against a 2, and so I'm a 7, and
Right.
I believe it was a 6-2 race. And so if they win one game, they're on the hill, and it's not looking
Right.
too good, for a 7 if your opponent's already on the hill and you have to win 6 games. But there were various shots where I would run a rack, I would complete a run out, and I had to incorporate a carom combo or a kick or a bank combo or something like that, or just a shot where I had to manipulate the balls in such a way that's outside of the normal realm.
Right.
And I think it would be false for me to say that points hasn't helped. But I don't want to take anything away from my own skill.
Right.
Yeah, right. But
So
no, the game is a lot of fun, and it's different. A lot, yeah, there's a lot of local players that'll scoff. Al's gotten some bad comments on some Facebook posts from people who think there's no way that a new game is going to revolutionize pool, and who's to say it will or it won't. But we all play 8 and 9 ball. There's nothing wrong with trying a new game.
right.
Nothing wrong with opening your horizons a little bit when it comes to pocket billiards, because like I said, it doesn't matter how difficult the shot is. If it's just a ball in a hole, you're only going to get 1 point for it. So if you're going to succeed at points, if you're going to actually grow your scorecard so it's high, you got to be creative. You can't just look at a simple shot and okay, I'm going to cut that in.
Right.
That's
So
only 1 or 2 points.
so you're playing against somebody and you're working with a scorecard, and that's if you
Right.
got
You,
then
you,
they it goes
yeah,
back
yeah.
to them again.
Generally speaking, what you'll do is you'll go back and forth with your opponent.
Right.
Um, they'll keep score for you, and vice versa.
Right.
And it is much more interactive. You're not going to be playing on your phone much while you're playing points, but it's more engaging and it's
Right.
enjoyable. And what you're going to do is you're really going to start to see those other shots that you probably didn't before. Like if you have a shot where 6 months ago, okay, so I can carom the 3 ball off the 4 into the side pocket. Now
Right.
I can honestly say that when it comes to shots like that, my eye is a lot more keen,
Uh-huh.
to visualize those shots and identify them now after playing points. It's great for that, but at the same time, I don't really feel like that should be the only reason you should play. It's just to
Right.
make yourself better at other games. I think the points has, I think it has it has the capacity to be to be a popular game, but people have to play it,
Right.
and that's one of the issues. Like I had a 179, but at the same
Uh,
time, I there aren't that many people playing the game. So,
yeah,
you know,
they call you the heavyweight champ, and I think there's been two tournaments or one.
well, I actually haven't participated in. I haven't been able to.
No?
Oh, excuse me. Did I
Uh,
lose you? Okay. I haven't been able to like this weekend we were putting up Christmas decorations and
uh,
lights, and I promised I was going to finish the shower in the master bathroom. So I've been busy.
right.
I'd be interested to know how the like this particular tournament went. I don't think that there was a notable score in the first one. I think the highest run was in like the 70s.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
think you're still the heavyweight champ, is what I've been told. You still have the highest points made.
Right, I do. There was a competitor in the points tournament this afternoon. His name is Mitch Holmes, and he's actually a 7-9 in
Right.
the a.k.a. So he has, as good a chance as anybody as far as the heavyweights, because he's definitely a heavyweight. He's a 7-9. So
Right.
I think in one of the previous points get-togethers, it wasn't a tournament, so to speak, but I think he ran in the 90s.
Right.
Um, and he was new to the game. He's one of those guys that is super creative. Also,
Right.
Mitch had, I mean, he's got the potential to beat my score for sure. He
Right.
just has to play the game. He has to put more than like two or three racks. Up. Because I think he might have played. I don't know. It's probably less than 10 racks of
Uh-huh.
points. So people just need to play, and the more people are playing, we're gonna
Right.
see what the potential actually is.
Yeah. Do you see more people playing now since you first started?
There, there's definitely more people playing now than when I started. I
Yeah.
think that the growth, as far as the people that are actually playing, the growth it could use some help for sure.
Right.
Um, but I think that that's a reflection just on billiards in general. I think I was on ESPN the other day. The purse for first place in the U.S. Open hasn't gone up in 20 years, has it?
Right.
They're still paying 50 grand or something
Right.
like that. That's what they've been. Yeah, I mean, there's room for growth in billiards altogether.
Oh,
For as many people are playing league here locally in the
right.
Charleston, South Carolina area, I think that a lot more people should be playing points for sure.
Right.
We've got tons of pool players, and everybody wants to get better,
Mhm.
and
Yeah. And
incorporating.
that's a game that will improve your skill. Heck, why not give it a go, you know?
For sure. Al, he went to the U.S. Open. He was able to set up a small booth, and I know a lot of people showed interest in the game while he was there. He passed out, I think, over 100 booklets, to people who were interested in the game. Max Eberly went out with him, and I think Max played at least 3 or 4 racks of the game points. I don't think his high run was that significant, but like I said, you have to develop a sense for the game. There is a little bit of luck involved also.
Right.
If you break the rack and you've got balls sitting in the pocket, well,
Uh-huh.
then you can really make a high score. I actually, when I had my high score, wasn't lucky so much in that aspect as I was in missing, and then I left balls sitting in the pocket, so I was able to come back and kick 3, 4, and 5 rails and make the ball.
Mhm.
So and I kind of feel like when you do that, it's kind of like I play golf, and I feel like when you
Okay.
make a 4 or 5 rail kick, I think it's kind of like making a 40-foot putt,
Uh-huh.
because there's a little bit of luck that goes into it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of like when you see too, like, well, Matchroom and Predator do their games different because they Predator has their 4 and 4 and then a shootout, but they also do the alternate alternate breaks. But with Matchroom, whoever's got the table, whoever's winning is on that table. And so there's, you know, um,
Right.
each each has its own, perks or whatever.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, the biggest difference is the points is purely offensive. So
Yeah.
you can't shoot a safety and put your opponent in a tight spot. With the
Oh, so there's no defense at all?
really not. No, there really isn't. Your best defense is offensive points. Yeah. You have to you have to get your scorecard super high, and once you've done that, then you're in a good position to win.
All right.
Um, like for instance, like I said, my high run's 179. I think there's been a couple of fours that
Right.
have been recorded where you had 16 shots and you can only come up with 4 points. So like if you're going to win, your best bet is to play offensively and find those shots, identify them, and call them and make them. You have to because those zeros on the scorecard ain't going to get you anywhere. So.
He wanted me to ask who would you like to, or
The heavyweight
to
opponent.
defend your title against
Right,
next?
right. Well, I think one of the things that needs to happen is more people need to play now. Is that
Right.
if we're dreaming, sure. I think his pick was Earl Strickland. I've always I've always been a big fan of Efren Reyes. Of course, everybody is. He's the
Of
magician.
course, right? The ghost.
But I would take any of those guys. If they
Yeah.
want to play. I was joking with Al the other day about how am I going to turn down a free trip to Vegas to play a world class pool player?
Right.
Um, but no, Earl would be great, and Earl's a fan favorite too. He's
Oh my
always,
God, yeah.
and if he was playing points, who knows what would come out of his mouth?
Right?
Efren's the polar opposite as far as that goes. I
Right.
think Efren would smash points. I think he would destroy it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he's the master. You got so many videos of him pulling those shots off where he'll call some random pocket and then he'll go
Right.
4, 3, 4, 5 rails and make the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I would take any of those guys.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
But there again, that tournament was taking place this afternoon. Who knows? Mitch Holmes might have beat my high score.
Right.
We might have a new heavy champ. So yeah, we'll just have to see. The game is young.
Right. Yeah. All righty. Well, I'll look forward to seeing how this keeps unfolding, and we will keep trying to keep people posted up on it in the magazine, and
Right.
I'll put this video out and everything. And so all I can say is, I guess, try points, improve your game.
Oh, it is. It's really simple. If you just look at it first from the half table perspective, and then second from the full table,
Right.
you get 1 point for potting a ball, and you get 5 points for a bank, a carom, a combo.
Uh-huh.
If you add an element, it's 5 points for a half table, and 10 points for full table.
Okay.
And it can get complicated, but at the same time, it's pretty simple. Because those elements are easy to identify. It's easy to tell if you've played a carom or a combo or a bank. That's really all there is to it.
Yeah.
So it's but yeah, like you said, people just need to they need to actually play the game. There's no reason not to give it a shot.
Yeah, might as well shoot. And they're
I'm
playing
looking forward to
everything
seeing
else.
that.
They've got one pocket, the straight pool, 8 ball, 10 ball, 9 ball, snooker. Might as well.
No, absolutely. There's no reason not to. Yep.
Yeah. All righty. Well, thank you, Michael. Is there anything else you want to say before we leave?
Oh no, well, thanks for having me, and
Uh-huh.
I and Al and everybody that plays points, we appreciate what y'all have done at Sneaky Pete
Yeah.
Mind to promote the game. So
Okay.
thanks a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, and have a good night.
You too.
Okay.